Welcome back to another quick review. I cannot believe I am making another quick review on a piece of media that is making me sad. That has made me sad. First it was Near, then Thunderbolts for some reason, and now Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The game that has taken the internet by storm. For a variety of reasons. Forgive me, it's raining outside, so I'm kind of getting distracted by that. But let's talk about Expedition 33. This game is phenomenal. This game is outstanding. For context, Expedition 33 is a game made by French developer Sam Fall Interactive, who I think formerly worked for Ubisoft. And it's a game that, when it was announced at the Xbox Showcase last year, it looked very good. I was very excited for it. And lo and behold, it came out on Game Pass. That's how I played it on Xbox. And I think this game, I was expecting this game to be good. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. This game blew away the expectations of myself as well as everybody that played it. You know, Expedition 33 is truthfully... It's a masterpiece. That's the best way to put it. It is genuinely a phenomenal video game. I think a lot of what makes it so good, not even getting into story just yet. I'll get to that in a moment. A lot of what makes Expedition 33 so good is just how it looks, how it feels, just its atmosphere, right? Because it is a beautiful, marvelous looking game. Unironically, one of, if not the most beautiful game I've ever played. This game is like, how did they do it? I know it's like a team of like less than 40 people or something like that. How they did it, how they managed to do this with the resources they had is like nothing short of a miracle. All right, give me a second. Hold up. Like I said, I'm outside recording this. I couldn't record this inside for today. How they managed to make a game like this with like that little amount of little amount of people working on it, even if they did outsource some things, I'm not sure how game development works. It is just like, it is a miracle. It is crazy how that even happened. It's like genuinely one of the most visually pleasing games I've ever played. The soundtrack is phenomenal. If I remember correctly, I heard they found the composer of the soundtrack because he was uploading his stuff on SoundCloud or something like that. If I remember correctly, if that's the correct story, correct me if I'm wrong. But like, man, this game, the soundtrack is like some of the best soundtracks, one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. And then the combat, just how they blend turn-based combat with, QTEs and parrying. It makes it fun. It makes it more engaging, right? I love turn-based combat. I really do. I've been playing turn-based games for a while. This is genuinely my favorite style of games. I really love action games. I really love everything else. Like, I love playing all this other stuff, which is why this entire debate of turn-based versus action games that have come up recently, especially in regards to Final Fantasy, has been weird. I don't like that argument because I love both. But like turn-based games, I'll always come back to. Like I said, some of my favorite games are Final Fantasy VI, the Trails games, Persona, stuff like that, right? Love turn-based RPGs. Dragon Quest XI is another one. The turn-based combat in this game is some of the best I've ever played, simply because it mixes things that you would see in like a Souls game or just an action game, and it like mixes them in with the turn-based combat, and I absolutely adore that. I love that it does that. It's fresh. I'm not sure if it's new. I'm pretty sure there are some other games out there that do that. So I'm not sure if it's new per se, but it's definitely fresh. It's definitely something different from what we normally see in regards to these RPGs, right? And so I kind of want to. So now we move on from that. I want to get to the story. This game's story broke my heart, especially the end. I think the end of every act or every like little thing or every chapter, you could say, just it's a gut punch from the end of the prologue to the end of Act 1 to the end of Act 2 to the end of the game. It's just heartbreaking. the entire way through. It is genuinely a heartbreaking experience. I can't. Like, it's crazy how that works. Um, I think, I think what really helps is the characters, and they sell this game so phenomenally, especially with their voice acting and whatnot. Let's specifically shout out Charlie Costa Gustav for the amount of time that he was in that game. He was phenomenal. Um, uh, Jennifer English is Mael. She was the heart and soul of this game, and overall holding this game together. And she's also amazing at her role. Andy Serkis as Renoir. Andy Serkis is phenomenal in everything, but specifically this voice performance, I was crazy about. And then Ben Starr as Verso. I love Ben Starr. When he played Clive of Final Fantasy 16, which is a top 3 game all time for me. I love that game. Um, he's given more softer lines to work with, and I love that. He kills his performance. And then everybody else does a phenomenal job, but those 4 specifically, especially Charlie Cox, because this is his first video game performance, those 4 specifically stuck out to me a lot, right? And it sells the emotion of the story, and the story's concept as well. I really like the story's concept. All things considered, it isn't, the I my one thing about Expedition 33 is that there are some things that I think could have been executed just a tiny bit better. I think there was one moment in the story. It was the end of Act 2, going into the epilogue before Act 3, right? The one thing about that was I started to get a little bit confused, right? Just because there was a lot going on with a little less explanation than there probably should have been. But I think what that helps to do is encourage you to think about the game and put things together. So any game that makes me want to put stuff together and figure things out on my own, I think is still really good. So confusion aside, in the moment, it did lead to me appreciating the game way more. And the last thing I want to say is this game is genuinely a top 10 game for me. I didn't think it would be a top 10 game going into it, but it's a top 10 game. It is booted Persona 5 out of the top 10. And I think at the very moment that I kind of realized that this game would be a top 10 game was at the end of Act 1, after the Lampmaster fight and everything that happened at the end of Act 1. I talked about the OST earlier. The OST and the soundtrack of the Lampmaster fight linked to. I just kept thinking about it, and it kept linking me to, the events at the end of that fight. That specific song stayed in my mind for days, and then I did the Duelist fight, and that song stayed in my mind for days on end. And I think that's what made this game a top 10 game for me. Not just the fact that the story is amazing, but the fact that I could connect certain songs from the soundtrack to certain moments from the game and have feelings about them. I can feel sad or emotional or happy or hype from the Duelist fight, or sad from the Lampmaster fight. The fights make the game and make those moments even more the moments after even more special, even more emotional. And I don't know if that's the best way to explain it. I don't know if I'm coming off as rambly, but that's how I interpreted it. The fact I was able to remember after a couple of days of having done them, and then, connect them and constantly go back and listen to them. It's just phenomenal. This game is a top 10 game for me. I adore this game. It's a 10 out of 10. Despite some of my issues with confusing writing, that probably would have made it if not confusing writing, but just being confused. If I wasn't, that probably would have made it an 11 out of 10. But it's a 10 out of 10 for me. This is absolutely my game of the year, and there's some other really good games coming out this year, but I don't see Expedition 33 being dethroned. So yeah, go play this game. It's outstanding. It's phenomenal. Sandfall Interactive, I applaud you for this phenomenal game that you have made, and I cannot wait to see whatever you guys do next. I will be there day one. I will be buying day one. I'll probably buy the game again on PlayStation because I got it on Game Pass, but I wanted to probably buy it again just so I can support you guys, whatever you guys are doing. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Go buy it. Go play it. Thank you for watching. See ya. Bye.